everyone sees the path of what you hear on a podcast or something about, hey, this is how I grew my business and became a millionaire. Well, sometimes there's a little bit of luck associated with that, or being in the right place at the right time.
In this week's episode of our Small Business Owner interview series, we chat with Rob Spiewak, founder and owner of More Kombucha, to learn about his journey as an entrepreneur. More is a Denver-based kombucha company in the capital-intensive industry that is food and beverage. Rob started by rolling up his sleeves and going door to door, offering his product until little by little he gained traction. Now 5 years later, More Kombucha is one of the fastest growing brands locally in its category. Hey Rob, how's it going?
How's it going, Marco?
Thanks for letting us come over and learn about your business.
Yeah, come on in. Let's
More
show you around.
Kombucha. All right, let's get to it. So when did you get started, Rob?
Started doing this in 2018.
2018?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it start with just kombucha at first? Or?
Just kombucha,
Okay.
yeah. We were focused on I had crafted a kombucha that tasted better than others, so it was more palatable, less vinegary, so we just kind of took that idea and I just quit my corporate job and ran with it.
Got it. Okay, so you were corporate before, and then did you just get an idea to do one flavor, or did you do other flavors?
We had a couple flavors to start, and then when I dove in, I kind of started to iterate and create a couple more things.
And so you started in your basement, and then how long have you been in this space, or were you in another space before this?
Like a lot of small food businesses, we started off in a commissary kitchen.
Got it.
Shared kitchen space. We grew there for about 2.5 years through COVID, and then after that, we really jumped into signing a lease on a bigger space, and that's kind of where we've been here for the last couple of years.
Was COVID for you? Some companies actually benefited in the supply chain from COVID. Did it hurt you? Did it help you in a way?
We were kind of at a small enough spot where it didn't really affect us at all.
It didn't affect you at all?
Yeah.
Okay. How big's your team right now? How many people when you got started?
Yeah, so when we started, it was just me doing everything.
You doing everything? Wow.
It took about 2 years to really hire a full-time employee. After that, it's just kind of been a trickle, add 1.5-ish people a year, and now we're up to a team of 5.
Wow,
So,
okay. What was your first position that you hired? Just like a
do it all.
Just like a right-hand person? Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, that's how it usually starts, right?
Yeah.
So this is where the magic happens?
Yeah, let's walk back and we'll start with the beginning of the process.
Okay.
This is our steeping kettle. We'll start here. We'll add hot water and tea. We'll steep the tea for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
After that, we sell hot liquid. We dissolve in our sugars. And from there, we pump out that sweetened tea into our fermenters.
Got it.
And as we pump it out, actually through this pump behind you here, run it through a heat exchanger, drop the temperature down, and then get it ready for fermentation.
Okay. I always wanted to know how kombucha was made. I had no idea.
So all these tanks back here, these are all of our fermenters.
Okay.
These smaller ones are about 250 gallons. We have some that are 500. We'll add in that sweetened tea along with our starter culture. So that's going to be kombucha that's a little bit more acidic.
Got it.
Been brewed for twice as long at least as our regular finished product.
How long is a typical fermentation process?
We give it about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yep. So after those 2 weeks are up, along the way we're testing for pH, we're testing for acidity, some other things. After that, we're gonna pump out that kombucha and we're gonna put it into our bright tanks, which is this set of tanks behind you.
Got it.
These tanks are where we're gonna chill, carbonate, and then eventually package our kombucha from.
Okay. Got it.
As we mentioned, our kombucha ends up in 2 different pack forms, kegs and cans. The kegs will just pretty much fill straight off of those bright tanks. And if we're doing any kind of canning, this is our canning line. We just bought this in March.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So pretty brand new equipment to us. Real big game changer in terms of like process flow, efficiency, things like that.
So where do you feed the...
So this is the outfeed side.
Oh, this is outfeed, okay.
So yeah, if we come down here, we'll bring our pallets of cans in and raise them up and kind of sweep them onto this side. So we'll bring the raw cans in. They convey across the conveyor here. As you can see, they get filled here. So these are the 2 fill heads.
Yeah, got it.
They'll run down the line, the lid goes on, they run through the seamer, and they're ready to go.
So this is a game changer for you in your process. So how many cans are you filling per minute?
This is gonna do about 27, 28 cans per minute. It is adaptable to run up to about 50. So we haven't added, there's 3 more heads we could add onto this.
Got it. And then the labeling, where do you do the wraps?
Yeah, so after that, we're gonna run down, we're gonna put our our date code on, inkjet printer, put the date code on, and then this is the labeler.
Okay.
So obviously this isn't set up and running right now, but the labels will feed off of here, wrap onto the can, and then it's ready to go into a box.
Really cool. Okay, great. And are you doing retail? Are you doing online? What channels are you in?
We primarily do food service.
Okay.
So a lot of our distributors focus on restaurants, bars, coffee shops.
Got it.
We distribute kegs to the distributors. We do a lot of stuff on our own truck as well. So we service at least 200 accounts.
Wow.
Anything from a restaurant. We also do offices, apartment buildings. And we don't just do kombucha. We do sparkling water in a keg, cold brew coffee.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Now the Olico ginger beer, which we're going to be talking about later.
I love the ginger beer. I told you before I had seen your kombucha at a poke place near where I live, and then I recognized it after I met you, and I said, oh wow, this is his kombucha. So really cool.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to ask you. So when you first started, who were you? So right now you're selling in different channels, and where were you selling to when you first started? Were you literally, were you going door to door? How were you?
Yeah, to really start it myself, I had to teach myself how to be a salesperson. So it just started with door knocking on coffee shops and breweries and different restaurants and asking, hey, do you want kombucha?
Wow.
And really for us, I think the game changer was when I would take the product out of the packet, out of my briefcase and show it to them, and it really popped. That's what started to gain some interest and
really cool.
And ended up giving me confidence as a salesperson. So
that's incredible because you have a lot of people when they see a business owner 5 years, 10 years into the business. It's always interesting to know how you got started, especially for a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs that want to start their own beverage or other product. But yeah, that's really cool, really interesting. So Rob, being a small business in the beverage industry, what are some of the challenges that you faced? Getting into the beverage industry, obviously supply chain and volume minimum sometimes are inhibitor for a barrier to entry for some businesses. Did you face, or what challenges did you face just being a small brand trying to make it into the beverage industry in Colorado?
I think some of the challenges are the challenge for any small business, first off, financially, is getting to a point of scale where you can cover your overheads.
Got it, yeah.
Your rent, your insurance, your vehicle, your people.
Yeah.
So I think that's always the first challenge. That's something like any small business has to figure out how to cover their overhead, because then they can start making money on top of that.
So you had to survive. How long did you have to survive before you started making a profit?
We're still not profitable.
Okay, and that's a reality for most small businesses.
That is, yeah, and especially in food.
Yeah, exactly.
Food and beverage. It takes. Don't expect to be profitable in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Maybe even 5 years. It takes a lot, and you have to keep investing more and more in your business because you continue to see the potential in the market.
Got it.
And sometimes you just have to double down, and you got to keep trucking away.
Yeah, and that's, I think, would you agree that's a common misconception? A lot of people think they're gonna start being profitable in the first year. They're gonna launch a brand, and it's gonna be just all rainbows and
and people are gonna start handing them money.
Exactly.
And they're gonna get into Kroger, and then it's just it's a lot of work to get to those places, and everyone sees the path of what you hear on a podcast or something about, hey, this is how I grew my business and became a millionaire. Well, sometimes there's a little bit of luck associated with that, or being in the right place at the right time. It's hard to do retail. Retail's expensive.
It's really hard.
So we've really focused on food service. It's really been successful for us. We have some small retailers. We're looking to launch with some retailers soon in the next year or so.
Okay.
But we haven't really put all of our eggs in that basket.
Got it.
That's been part of our success.
Yeah, and I'm sure the retailers are also, it's also pretty cutthroat, and there's a shelving fees, or what do they call it?
Slotting fees.
Slotting fees.
Yeah, if you get into a chain in a region, they might charge you $1,000 a store just to get in there.
Exactly. And then if you don't have the velocity, they could kick you out. Is that also, is that right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Wow, really cutthroat.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we see some of your kegs in your cooler, or some of the ones that you have?
Let's go take a look at the cooler.
I thought that was really cool.
Come on into our walk-in cooler. So this is where we store all of our product. All these are our 12 packs that we ship out either to our distributors or directly to our customers. And then this is our current keg inventory.
Got it.
So two common size formats of kegs in the business right now. Half barrel, so this is
Like the typical college keg size?
15 and a half gallons. And then these smaller ones here, these are 6 barrel.
Got it.
So everything's based off of the barrel, which is, an English unit of measure.
Yeah, I actually just learned a few months ago that this is a half barrel. I always called it like a full-size keg.
Yeah.
But it's called a half barrel. Okay.
No, because back in the day, a 31-gallon wooden barrel was the format.
That was the format. And then I see you have ginger beer as well.
Yep. So we acquired this company. I got some cans here we could take a look at. We acquired this company back in December. Olico Ginger Beer. It's a live culture ginger beer, lower in sugar. It's got a very nice ginger bite without the gobs and gobs of sugar that most ginger beers put in there. So these are 50 calories per can.
Okay.
But still have a great flavor to them.
That's awesome. That's great. Are you going to stay here for a while? Are you going to be?
We're continuing to expand and starting to look at
expand. That's awesome.
A new space later this year.
And that's the great thing. Just interesting to hear. You're continuing to expand. You're still trying to chase that profit, but you know that you have to reinvest in your business in order to scale, to steady, and that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs just don't understand.
Yeah, it's hard being a small company. You gotta wear all the hats. You gotta do a lot of different things, and you gotta look out for the long-term health of your business as well.
What if someone would say, okay, I have to survive this X amount of years before I make a profit. So how do you stay the course? Like, how do you not just give up? Are there days where you're like, what am I doing? Like, should I pivot? Should I not do should I do something else?
Yeah, I think that's some of that is like what makes people last, and what sometimes makes people move on to other things. So I think some of it's like mental stamina to some degree.
Okay.
And then also
belief in your vision.
Belief in what you're doing, and like you have to at some point learn, financially how to run a business and where your finances are at. And
did you go to school for that, or did you just learn?
I just learned through years in manufacturing in corporate America. So.
Interesting. Yeah. So just so you guys know, we're going to use the Cheers & Co. VW bus we're going to use some of Rob's ginger beer. We're going to make a little Moscow Mule.
Awesome.
So let's see. I did the measurements yesterday, so I think it's. I don't know how you do your Moscow Mule, but I do 2 parts vodka, 3 parts ginger beer.
Awesome. So you'll see as we pour this, like how just like awesome the ginger is that we put in there.
Okay.
Just a lot of fresh ginger, and you'll kind of see that as from the haze that this beverage kind of has.
Oh, you're pretty familiar with these coin kegs.
This is how you start. You start on the small kegs when you're a small beverage guy, and then you upgrade to the big league.
Our brand is about being sustainable and trying to use as little packaging as possible.
Yeah, we love that. I mean, that's why we love doing kegs. Our company ships upwards of 120 kegs per week.
Oh wow!
To different places. Like I said, we do just sparkling water in kegs for offices. They love it. We cut down on cans of LaCroix and stuff like that, and it just really makes for a more sustainable world.
I love it. I'm really looking forward to using a lot of your ginger beer and kombucha for our events. There's a lot of non-alcoholic interest as well in our events.
Awesome.
And so it just provides something, not boring like a lemonade or tea.
Yeah, totally. And we get that. Like we're a non-alcoholic beverage company. That's what we consider ourselves.
Exactly.
And we like being able to provide tasty craft non-alcoholic beverages that they're not sugary, they're not full of fake sweeteners. They just taste good, drink like craft non-alcoholic cocktails.
Exactly right.
Time to try
Moscow Mule with the Oikos ginger beer? Olico ginger beer. All right. Let's see how it came out. We kind of made this pretty quick, but
looks good.
Yeah. So Rob, what's next for more kombucha? It's more? It's just
yeah.
What does the name come from, by the way? I didn't ask you that.
More means mother in Swedish and Danish.
Oh,
and
more.
Yeah.
They say more, right?
Yeah. And that's what
right.
you use to the culture that you use is the mother. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we just kind of stuck with us.
And it works out with like the in English the more.
Yeah, it's punny. It's simple. It's clean.
Exactly.
Like brand,
so what do you guys have planned next? Vision wise, I mean, I'm sure tactically you have your next month's plans, but what about the next 3 years, 5 years?
We're continuing to grow with our distributor partners and just continuing to grow our sales. We got a really solid team, bunch of great people that work for us, and they're really what, keep the product going out the door, allow us to keep making more and more product every week, and we've just been growing like crazy this summer.
Are you staying in Colorado for now, or are you also distributing elsewhere?
We're focused mainly on Colorado.
Okay.
We're in New Mexico, Wyoming as well, but we're looking to expand especially our food service reach into some different regions, and working with some other partners. We got a potential partner up in Minnesota we're talking to, and
really cool.
Trying to
That's awesome.
take more all over the country.
I mean, the product's good enough. I will say, I'm a testament to that. The quality is really good, which is why I'm going to get a keg of ginger beer just for my house. Awesome. I'm serious. I could drink that like water. I wanted to ask you, so standing here today, we're in the middle of 2023. What would you tell Rob back in 2018 or 2017 when you were thinking about getting this started? Something that maybe you didn't see. I'm sure there's a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But what would you tell yourself back then?
I would have told myself to like invest more in like a team and people to help me before I really needed them.
Got it.
I was trying to do this as I didn't try to bootstrap this. I invested some of my own money. I raised a little bit of money.
Okay.
But I wasn't always like, I need to raise additional money to hire these 2 people that are going to be overhead people, and now that we have kind of those members on the team, people that are really able to support, the systems and the growth, I've really found the value in that. And if we would have had that team together 3 years ago, we just would have grown that much faster.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. That I mean, hindsight's 20/20 always, and you learn by doing. So,
yeah.
I always like to ask this question. So, if there was, I call it a small business genie, kind of like think about the genie in Aladdin.
Yeah.
And that genie were to give you an answer to any question that you have, anything that would, maybe solve a huge business issue or something that you can't figure out. What would you ask that genie? And I know it's take some time to think about, but
yeah, that's a tricky one. Knowing the right points at when to raise capital. I think it's always, for a lot of small businesses, you're a little behind the 8 ball on making those decisions. And I think, if the genie would have told me, have it done by this date. Got it. I think that would have made the business a little that much more healthier.
Or hang on a little longer. Don't don't raise it. Okay, got it.
Yep.
What if you had the option? Let's say this genie gave you another wish, and the option was you could have any job, right? But you'd be an employment. You'd be an employee of a company. You could name your salary within reason.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't own that company. You'd be an employee. Would you still stick with More Kombucha, or would you go work at your dream corporate job? And why or why not?
I think like the role for me would maybe be different. I think like maybe dream job for me would be more like business development or sales.
Got it.
Related. But I think doing it for a beverage company like More would really be where I want to be.
Okay, great, awesome. Tribiz Business Advisors is we try to interview business owners, entrepreneurs in Colorado and around the country. We're trying to really build a community of entrepreneurs and small business owners that can help each other out with their experiences, anecdotes, and kind of learn from each other. A lot of the questions that I'm asking you come from that community, and so just as a way to maybe help them out too, if someone watching, either an entrepreneur that's going through a rough time or an aspiring entrepreneur that wants to launch a business and has just witnessed this interview, what would you tell them? Just what's one piece of advice that you would say any aspiring or existing entrepreneur, maybe a newbie entrepreneur?
I think trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
I think the reason that I've been able to continue to scale this business is because I could take the facts that I have with me and the advice I've been given from people and formulate a gut feel of where I need to go, where I need to take the business. And if I would have done it by the book, or if I would have just listened to people, I would have failed. And I think the key to a successful entrepreneur is somebody that could listen to their intuitions, follow them, and stick to them.
Wow, that's really powerful. And actually, I could, as a small business owner myself, I think that's completely true. So
awesome.
Well, Rob, thanks for having us over. Hopefully you enjoyed the little experience off the tap.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing the ginger beer for us, and hopefully we can do some events with you guys.
Yeah.
We're really excited to take this van and the other our other mobile bar and just showcase your kombucha and ginger beer around Colorado.
Awesome. So we're looking forward to partnering with you.
Cheers.
Cheers.